Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
sense because I'm easily confused.
Like in Q right now, we part of this too, right, is in Q, like if in Q sells, we want to buy this at S4, not buy this at S3 because of the lower range, because our seller is going to come in right up at the 21, 20, 11. So if you don't buy low enough, you're gonna hit the seller before you get to your profit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so part of that positional awareness is just making sure you're going long so that you can, in a spot where you can get, if it goes long from S3, you don't want to buy S3, even if it is a long from S3, because you're probably going to run up to R3. And when you get to R3 in the lower range, you're going to find that seller, and that seller is going to be there before you get the profit. It'd be better actually just to let it squeeze, get to the seller, and then short at the seller, because you'll actually get the distance of that move from that positioning,
Right.
where
Right.
it doesn't matter if it's a long here or not. You're never going to get to a profit target on it, which is why we don't want S3, we want S4. Because even if we don't make it back through high of day, we'll still get to profit target.
Yep. Yep. Makes sense.
Cool.
S-
All right, I'll
So,
be right back.
so
I'm going to get a drink real quick, and then I'll be right back on. Give me 2 seconds. I'm like parched.
So I always wondered about that, and I figured there were others that were wondering about that as well. Whether um, it's something that is more or less reliable when you have to actually wait for it to get in position. If that
yeah,
makes sense. I figured there were probably others that were wondering the same thing.
Well, part of it is the constraint of what your profit target is, though.
Yeah. Right.
If you're bound and determined to take nothing less than 4R, then S3 is not any good. If you're willing to take 2R, then and it's going to go up from S3 to R3, then maybe you've got room.
trade just to exactly like him. I think if you
Right.
actually learn to trade like him, then you're fine. But don't need to work, and that's what I got to keep reminding myself. I don't need to be
That's great
at a
attitude.
different level.
Yeah,
At
that's
least
freaking
not at this
awesome.
point in my game.
Stinking Nvidia, man. I should have been paying attention. It was like beautiful.
Vampire. No, no,
That
was
that
it
low right
Vampire?
at the beginning was gorgeous.
And Tesla, it bounced exactly from us, S3.
I'm hoping it comes back up a little bit for me. Here we go. Come on up. Look at this big order at 145 on Nvidia.
I don't see any 445x. What was
Here it comes.
So Jeremiah also has an isolated pivot indicator on his toss.
I know. I was just looking at that.
Yeah, I use it. I mean, but I, I don't. I usually don't notice it until it's already too late.
Man, Tesla was really good.
Nvidia right back to R3. Both R3s apparently working today. R3 with was almost exactly the top of the day, and we just did a pullback to R3 without, which is technically the correct cam.
Nice.
But NQ's not following it today. It's not playing.
Not yet. NQ is almost up to like R3 on one of the calcs. Look at Tesla, yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying to say like S3
Uh,
exactly.
That's awesome though. Order book on Nvidia actually looking a little more bearish. Look at that big order at 145. Hmm. Wow, look at that. Look, Meta alerted after the open. And look what it was, a lower range. Look, came down and wicked S4. That's pretty cool. NQ probably sells from somewhere around here back down to S4 or something.
S4 is basically yesterday's low, 2 days ago low. So
Didn't
equal
quite
lows
make it to
down there.
R3, but Nvidia and all these other, all the tech tickers are starting to sell. Order books are looking a bit bearish as well, so they're bringing in bids. Look at the size of this bid down here. Just hanging out. See what happens here. I've got a short going on Nvidia off of R3.
Ooh,
Me too.
nice. We were just talking about this yesterday, how sometimes pivot masters take the same trade without even talking about it.
Well, one of the things that's important to me is that we're not actually a trade room, right? That's what BBT's for anyone
Yep.
who's like really actively looking to like call trades with people and stuff like that.
Right.
This is, but after I get into them, I'll say them. But I also don't like freaking people out. Sometimes people will be getting long in a position, and if you hear me saying I'm getting short in it while you're long in it, I don't want to fuck up your position, especially if
That's
I'm
me.
wrong.
That's me.
You know what I mean? I don't want to mess you up if I'm wrong. You know what I mean? Which I can be. I mean,
Yeah.
50-50. You know what I mean? I'm not perfect. So, I mean, I just look it.
Where is your stop for that trade?
147.52. I'm in at 147 in like a quarter. Using using the pullback to Arthur. Oh, come on.
Fuck yeah, this is going.
Come on.
I'm short too, but I'm short on Q.
Come on.
I'm to R.
I just got target on the video.
Look at this
Let's
thing.
go.
Man,
There's
you
my
guys are killing it.
Look how
Let's
close I was to 4R
go.
right there. You piece of crap. Don't
I
do
just
that to
hit
me.
it. I just hit 4R. Let's go.
Your entry is better than mine.
I
My
caught the
stop is
bottom of the
same.
wick. I'll put my trade in here. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Dude, nice. See, I didn't call this, but we knew. Y'all probably.
Oh, I know.
I was watching this shit. I'm also short in Q right now, by the way.
I'm also short.
I'm short on Q.
I'm short MSTR,
Me too.
which is
Oh,
working.
you short Mister? Oh, Dwayne's in.
Yeah.
Oh, Dwayne's in.
I held
I
my nose.
remember
and
when
got
this
in.
was hard.
I didn't like it, but I got in anyway.
I didn't like it, but I did it.
Did you see what I posted, Dwayne?
Yeah.
I said equal. Remember, see the equal lows on the daily, right?
Yeah.
That's a liquidity draw, probably.
I just
Oh,
figured
no,
we're probably.
Nvidia,
It looked like
no.
we were. Damn, what a bounce! What an asshole! Nvidia,
Yeah.
don't do that to me.
Come on, don't hit. Yeah.
That was close to my target. That is crazy.
Early
Before
Look
I
how
don't
weak
think
that
so.
volume is for such a big candle, though.
Yep.
I don't know if you saw Ken had a question in the chat,
Sure didn't.
just in case.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kazoo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how to open that right now. Hold on. Chat. There it is.
Kazoo. I just like saying it. That's a fun thing to say.
Oh, wait, different chat?
Kazoo.
It's inside the mentoring chat.
I
It
see it.
says having trouble with the cams. 3 things. All the tickers are stating without pre-market data narrow and no pre-PR data. Does anybody have any idea why?
That's wild. I don't know, man. Every now and again, I've had this thing just do some weird stuff. And then I'll notice like it's not loading right, and then I have to like close out and then get back in, and then it'll fix stuff. Come on now, I'm still holding my look. I've got my
Still
short
holding
going
too.
running.
I'm holding for 21,
Lord.
50, 50.
Look where I'm going.
Let's see. Ooh. Oh yeah, I have it. I have it at 21, 50, 50 is mine. Because if you look on the daily Thor, check out. Oh, you're on. Oh, that's on Q, right?
Yeah, in Q,
Yep.
in Q
Look
on
at-
the futures trade,
So
Nvidia.
check out the daily chart of NQ and notice we have equal lows on the previous 2 days candles.
Come on,
And I
Nvidia.
know those as
Come on,
liquidity
Nvidia.
draws.
Come on, Nvidia. You know you want to. You know you want to.
You can
Come
do
on.
it.
Come on.
You can
Oh, my
do it.
hands
You're
are
a
off the
winner.
mouse. Hands off the mouse.
Yeah.
Hands off the mouse. Yeah.
Hands up,
I'm-
yeah.
Get
I'm
some.
still- I still didn't get my target yet. What?
You did?
No, I didn't. Yeah,
Oh.
almost now.
Woo!
Just keep holding.
Yeah.
You got to exercise that discipline muscle. So, hey, Dwayne, are you holding for that 2150?
You bet.
Nice.
Watch
Give me,
this.
give me 8 more cent. 8 more cent, please.
Watch this. Watch this.
We're-
Look what
we're on
happens
go.
when
Come
look what happens
on.
when Nvidia breaks its previous day's low.
Oh, that's a great
Go.
percentage.
Man, it just having like it didn't. Just touch it.
Yeah, S3 is right there. It's okay. It's gonna go lower. Don't worry about it. Just hang on.
Yeah, don't worry.
But
So,
but
no,
this is S3,
but-
so naturally there's going to be buyers here because you're right at the 2 days ago's low, 2 days ago's low. So there's going to be a buyer sitting
Wait.
here. So you can't be
Alright.
so but the question is what's the market maker doing right now? Are they hitting that buyer and then buying, or are they distributing into that buyer? Right? So what do you think that dot says they're doing right now?
Wait, why are you
Still
saying
under.
that's an S3 when the S3 is the one below at 145?
They're both S3s. There you
Yeah,
go.
but-
Come on. Go.
Remember, I don't know if you
I
remember
got it.
yesterday, I was saying
get
you should
Phil?
always check both settings.
Yeah, I got fell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got fell.
I got another
on.
20. I got another 20 cents to go.
Oh, you got
Happy Thursday.
This is what we want the price to
Thursday.
do. All right,
Come
ready?
on.
Price. We need the price to.
Oof.
We need it to fall.
That's my sound
Uh,
effect.
That's awesome.
What a day, man.
Or I know you hit your 4R, but why don't you like wait until it gets to S3, since you know it's like S3 R3 to S3 traverse thing.
So I used to go for the pretty picture, you know what I mean? And now it's just about making money. So for me, what I have found in my stats is I can get to 4R within a few minutes. If I go for 5R, it's going to take me 30 minutes to 45 minutes to get 5R. So
I
it's
can-
like for me,
I agree.
my 4Rs here, in order to get to the next level, it would have to be down here. And I've found that I can get in and out of multiple positions and hit 4R faster than I can get to 5R, 6R, or 7R on one position, much less multiple positions. So this is how, on a really strong day, I can end up with 20R. You would never get 20R out of holding one position. Like the only way to do that, well, I mean, you could. You'd actually have to build the position. You know what I mean? And don't worry about this S3 here. We're good. So right now we're pulling back up and we're testing the underneath of the past 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, hold on, look at the stinking daily chart on Nvidia right
Yeah.
now.
But
Right.
I'm going
Look
back
at
to
look
that.
at look at this. Look what we're doing right now.
Right.
This is why we're buying right now, right here. Because look, there's obviously going to be a buyer.
Yep.
Right here.
And plus,
man.
people probably bought already, so it's gonna work them out.
But look what happened. Doink 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 on this day. We went to here.
It's manipulation into a lower range.
And if you think they're not going to look, they're just they're sweeping this low right now, right? They're sweeping back under the low of all these days here just to see what happened,
Yeah.
right? And so they're sweeping up here, and they're going to look at the volume response though. Look at the orders. All the orders are still to the downside. Look at the CVD. We're still super red. You know what I mean? This looks like, and look at the chart here. Look at this beautiful chart. Look at the daily R4. Mwah. Sell.
back-
R4.
back-
Mwah. Sell. R4. Mwah. Sell. Mm-hmm. I mean, Nvidia's making out with R4 on the monthly right now. Like this is actually a little bit of PDA here, and I'm not see, look at them defending the lows. So now they're gonna pull it back to the close. Right, it's gonna come into PDC, and they're gonna try and squeeze out anyone who is shorting. Right, they're gonna squeeze them out.
Yep.
And then once everyone stops out, they'll push it back down.
Yeah,
they-
look,
Got a
look, the
question
candle-
regarding.
Look, the candle is
Look at that,
big
right?
candle is low value. Low value.
Yeah,
candle.
look how low the volume is as they're
Yep.
doing this.
The market likes to punish latecomers.
Look where
Meaning they like to
we had a
grab all the
seller
top.
right here at 146.50. See the wicks doink doink right there? So
Yep.
we know we had a seller right there. Let's see if that seller's still there. If they buy through 146.50, that would be a little sketch. But they'll look at that, squeeze right back to that seller, right at those two wick highs. 146.50. Let's see if there's an iceberg there. I need iceberg detector like right now.
Okay,
Iceberg.
so with the iceberg order, so when I used to have the full version book map, is not available for equity.
Oh,
Yeah, it only works in futures.
oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Because the futures have a more sophisticated order routing system. So when futures send orders, futures actually send. So futures do an acknowledgement handshake, and then they do like an aloha, is the best way I know how to describe this. The same thing means hello and goodbye. You know what I mean? So at the beginning of an order, they actually send an aloha, and at the end of the order, they send an aloha. So basically, the market maker knows I have a string of transactions coming through at a price for a specific move. So you're basically saying, hey, I have an iceberg coming, right? And then the market maker says, oh, okay, cool. So the market maker will actually sit at that price and allow you to offload shares. And since there's unlimited liquidity, right, in futures, the market maker doesn't have to be worried about that, right? They can just look at that. Look at the sell right
Yeah.
off of the 146.50.
That was a manipulation above.
And that's an ISO pivot.
Oh yeah. A little.
Right, but look,
I'm gonna
right
make it a
back
panda,
into the
maybe.
seller. As we
Yep.
dropped, we pulled back and we found that iceberg seller. Look at the low volume squeeze. Big ass engulfing candle, right?
Big
Low
ass.
volume. Yoink. Man, that's fun.
I boost my trade. See, after like hit my target, how is the wick for me? I will like it just hit and
Where'd you post it?
I posted in the mentor chat. See, like
Okay.
like yeah, like
Oh, okay,
after
the little chat thing. Okay, thank you. Oh, I don't see
so
it. Mentoring
in the
chat.
I don't see
mentor,
it.
I just posted. Oh, I didn't. Oh, I didn't put them. I did. Yeah, now I put it. I didn't hit enter.
Oh, thank you, Mohammed. Oh my God, Lee nailed that top. Holy cow!
It's just not up.
Come on.
That's awesome.
I held NQ through that stinking pullback.
I did too. Because I got in way up at the top. So
Come on,
I'm all good.
S4.
I'm already at 549 on the day, which is big for me. If you know.
Oh yeah, that's huge, dude.
Pretty big, yeah.
Dude, that 5-4, can you imagine even a couple years ago or a year ago thinking you could be making $500 a day?
I know. Well, I remember sending you trades, Thor. I would send you trades where I'd get like 50 a day, and I'd be happy.
Oh, of course.
Remember? I think you probably remember.
I had 50 a day when I was.
I gotta tell you, before I got on Thor's mentoring thing, I was trying to send him trades and send him my trade book. I did everything I could to get in his mentoring room. Took me like 3 months, but finally he accepted me.
I'm like happy at $5 a day right now. How sad.
Facts, you know what I'm saying? Like, geez. So, because I mean, if we do 500 a day, and there's 250 trading days.
Yeah, I want to see what that is.
That's 125K a year.
Dude, I could live off that nicely. I own my home, I own my car, everything's paid off.
Dude, you live in Florida. Pretty soon we're not going to have federal income tax as well.
Yes.
But then you have to pay 30% or 37% off of that, right?
Who?
125.
I hope not. That's what I'm saying.
28 now.
If in Florida we don't have income tax,
yeah.
So all we're paying is federal, and if they get rid of the federal, done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think this is going to bounce. Going to stop me out.
Bounce.
I think the hard part for everybody is getting to the point where
you hold on to the money.
The $10 days have become $20, become $50.
Yeah, it's exponential.
You get to where you are now.
Well, that's what it was for me, Kazoo. I trained myself trading the MES, a small size. My risk was $17.50 and then $20. Well, 20 to 40 on NQ.
Funny,
but I just made it work.
It was actually a conversation I had with Al that would really kind of put some of that in perspective for me. And he was just talking about he's like when you're trying to make $50 a day, you know what I mean, and which is hopefully going to be 20,000 or 30,000 a year or something like that. He's like every trade and every loss, it's like you feel so sensitive because it's so much of the amount of money you're trying to make. He's like, but once you're up to making like 120 or $130,000 a year, he's like, oddly enough, when you lose, it just doesn't seem as big of a deal because you're making more. You know what I mean? You're doing better. So it is kind of interesting how both, it's kind of like that whole thing where it's like when you're making $30,000 a year, for some reason you only have $30,000 a year worth of expenses. And then all of a sudden you're making like $60,000 a year, and now all of a sudden you have $60,000 worth of expenses. And you're like, what the hell? Who keeps taking all my money? So it's you just change your thing. But anyway, I gotta run. I got a 10 o'clock sesh, so I'm gonna take off. Fun trading morning, everybody, and good stuff. So I'll see y'all a little bit later. Don't forget Thursday. So I'll be back in here at 11 to hang out, and we'll see how the rest of the day went.
Pivotorium or Mentor?
Probably Pivotorium.
All right, thank you.
All right, brother. Bye.
So the good thing about I'm still in the sim now. The good thing about I trade with option, and I only used $1,000 for the trade I took, and I made around $441.
How much is your risk on that?
Like 10 cents, like around. Hold a second. Let me go. I put was 10 cents. So let me calculate how much the risk.
You're risking 10 to get 40 cents? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I risked 10 cents. I got 40 cents.
So you're risking $100.
Yeah, because it depends about how the contract. So let me see. Stop loss. And actually, like I moved my stop loss like close to even too. Like yeah, like my risk was $84. Actually, it took me a while to figure it out for the stop loss and all stuff. So I found out like my contract is better like when you be under $5, so I can manage the risk. Like Tesla is kind of huge now. So. And 10% of Tesla is like the contract of Tesla is really, really high. So oh, this sell off is break S3 too. Very good.
Come on, stop tap dancing around this level. You know you want 2150. You want below it. I know you do. Look at the daily chart, guys. Look at the trend channel we have setting up bearish. And you know we have fair value gaps on the daily, so it's drawing into those to tapped out liquidity. And tons of liquidity under 2150. Kind of seems like they're protecting it or something, but it should go down there. Fair value gap showing now on hourly. I don't know what it's from though. Must be on maybe a 5-minute or a 3. So I don't see it on my 15. But it is pushing down into a large fair value gap and order block left over from, let's see, from Tuesday. Which makes sense because those are the 2 days we're targeting the liquidity under, Wednesday and Tuesday. So they're going to protect it a little bit. But NQ doesn't care. Doesn't care about your protection. NQ doesn't give a shit.
I do what I want. You don't know me. You don't know NQ.
You don't know NQ. And think with Bookmap, people call NQ Nikisha. They're like, come on, Nikisha. Nikisha. Hold. Hold. It's always this last little bit that's the hardest. And I'm partial out of it almost all the way, so my stop's a break even, so no stress. No sweat on this trade now. 549 in the hopper. And I did have one stop out. I tried to short it nearer the open, and then it drove up and stopped me out when it went above VWAP. But I didn't freak out. Got back in off a new fair value gap. Yeah. Well, not a new one. It was leftover one. 21161. This pullback's not looking great, but the volume's not very big. So, oh, I just got a red bubble on my chart. 102 lots. That should push it down. We got another one too. 84 lots. Come on, that should do it. There it goes. Push it, push it. Push its head back underwater. Oof. That's a battle, huh? That's almost 200 lots that were dropped into the market. That's 2,000 contracts. goes. Come on, baby. Come to daddy. 2150. Oh, come on. So they're engineering liquidity by doing this. Underneath all these wicks, they're they're making it look strong so they can create even more orders down there to make it more enticing to drop lower. They're jigging it basically, like in Thor's analogy. Getting jiggy with it. Just had a flash of some block trades, but went so fast I didn't see if they were on the bid or ask. That's not good. So that one fair value gap I saw has been mitigated. Came off my chart.